During the celebration of President Tinubu's 2 years in office, ministers, SSAs, and cabinet members granted multiple interviews to highlight the seeming progress of the administration. However, one which stood out and has caused a lot of conversation among digital enthusiasts is the interview granted by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. He said the FG used AI to identify poor Nigerians, particularly those residing in urban slums. According to him, the urban slums were identified via satellite imaging, and with the help of telco base stations, phone numbers were obtained and used to retrieve their financial details, which were then fed to the AI to identify the poor. So here are some questions that come to mind. Do we have the right data infrastructure? How clean, complete, and current is the data from NIBS, NIMSI, and telcos? Many Nigerians are still unbanked. Some share SIM cards, many spend in cash. Now, what about consent and privacy? Are Nigerians giving informed consent to use their financial and mobile data this way? Who is protecting citizens from surveillance and data abuse? You can't fix poverty by violating privacy. Now, do we trust the government with AI? Yes, innovation is good, but will an AI model matter if social welfare programs are broken and corrupt? We don't need AI to tell us people are hungry. We need systems that actually fit them. Yes, AI can help analyze poverty patterns more efficiently. However, this move should not distract from fixing the real human and policy gaps in Nigeria's welfare system. Nigeria's data system is unreliable at best. With inaccurate records, inconsistent data collection, and gaps in crucial demographic information, our data infrastructure is ill-prepared for the complex algorithm that power AI systems. This makes any AI-driven decision-making not only flawed, but potentially harmful. As the world races towards an AI-driven future, Nigeria must tread cautiously regarding applying artificial intelligence. While AI has undeniable potential, mindlessly following global trends without considering our unique challenges is a recipe for disaster. Let's not slap AI on top of a broken infrastructure and expect magic.
But I am wondering, why can't we use that sense, the satellite imagery and AI to catch Boko Haram? Sorry. If we're so advanced, you know, this is just very interesting. Suddenly, we're very advanced, and like you said,
very technical issue.
And then we even have them showing up on social media, flaunting. Yes. The terrorists are flaunting them, so they're putting out videos. So this AI and whatever should be able to help us track them. I think for me, the main thing is the fact that this is someone that is not even known. So if he was actually solving the problem of the people, because policies are people-centric, right? They are about solving problems and giving people solutions. If he was done, he would have been like his household name by now, whereby a lot of people are getting something. I don't know anyone that would say they've received anything. And I don't know whether anyone here on this table. And so constantly we hear this conditional
and don't forget
cash
the thing they are
transfer.
receiving is 75,000 naira for 1 year.
But you never see anyone who, they are the only ones who seem to know these people. And then yes, you're inundated with problems from people who are seeking one thing or the other. I think what we have here, so when you went at the beginning of your advocacy where you talked about celebration, the only people who were celebrating were people who were with them, not Nigerians on the streets, you know. They weren't celebrating anything. So as far as I'm concerned, it's an illegitimate administration. Even when I was called to come and discuss the 2 years, I'd say I cannot legitimize an illegitimacy, so I pass on this.
I want to essentially talk more on the legal aspect of this conversation, especially when you mention consent, because it's one of the issues that, or the sections in the Nigerian Data Protection Act, and because there are exceptions to it, so you have the consent falls on the exception that says, okay, you can get my data and use my data under 2 categories or 4 categories actually, but the 2 that I can remember just now are vital interest and public interest. But the question then is, what is vital interest? So for example, why are you mining my data over my head in a place just because you find that I either work or live there? And so you're mining my data and then using my data to do something that I did not consent to. Because I could be coming here 9 to 5 every day and then just happen to be that to use AI to mine my data and use the satellite, whatever the imaging that they use to then take and classify me as a poor person or as an
okay person.
And no, on less privilege.
Okay.
And so begin to send me 20,000 that is unsolicited. So at whose interest?
I mean,
Who
10,000.
determines what vital interest is? In as much as the Act says that vital interest is to me, that the information is being mined without my consent, or it is also to another person. So it takes away it is more like the microcosm of the public interest. So what they are now saying is maybe in the interest of their public interest, they want to promote the policy of cash
transfer.
Cashless?
No, not cashless.
Cash transfer.
Cash transfer.
Okay.
So that's what the government is now pushing in terms of public interest, but at whose detriment? So when they talk about this, they also need to understand that people can be caught somewhere, and just the same way you can't just go and bomb an area because you see there are terrorists there. You've got to have rules of engagement. If you must also engage in terms of the General Data Protection Act, you've also have got to have rules that you engage on so that you don't infringe on my own rights. Because I need to, at this point, consent to that data that you are carrying. Don't just come and mine data because I happen to be in that area. Then that's collateral damage.
All right.
Yeah, I wanted to share something. I was just thinking about this. It just seems like a very, if that's truly what was done, very lazy way of the government trying to reach out to its people. First of all, it shows there's a clear dysfunction, that the government is actually not in touch with the people. There's no system by which the government, the federal government, is able to reach the people right down to local government.
Or know the people.
Know the people, yes. That's what it means, that there's a break.
Yeah.
They're actually not in touch with the people. That's what this has revealed. So if there's something that they want to reach the people, there's no system. There's no network. That's why they have to go actually on a macro scale. And that is very, very, very troubling. The second thing is, you talked about, the data that we have. There's a lot of false narratives out there.
So the first question is, do we have the right data infrastructure? Then you say, how clean, complete, and current is the data from NIBS, NIMC, and co? The answer to that question is no, it's not clean, it's not current either. And the easy way to look at that is just try to get maybe your BVN data or your whatever, your NIN data, and you find out that probably the address there is address you used like 10 years ago. There's no system in place that integrates other data to be able to update what is your current information, that is there. So every data operates in silos. Everybody collects your data, and everybody finds a way to prevent you from the right and access over that data, or the right to get consent before they can even use that data. You don't even know what they're doing for. Even not for the FCCPC that came up with this issue they had with WhatsApp, for instance. Nigerians would not have known the things that this tech company was doing with their data without their consent. So there is a lot that the government has to do to be able to help on this. And I go back to when we had this advocacy about the breach of NIMC database, when some sites could actually just print out your NIN for you. And NIMC was saying, no, it's not possible. And they actually just printed out the minister's NIN and just show. I mean, and the minister came out and said, oh, they're going to investigate, they're going to come out with the results. It's going 1 year now, and there's no.
They're still investigating.
They're still investigating. So that's the problem. And the last bit is, do we trust the government with AI? The answer is absolutely not. We don't, and we can already see what they are doing with AI, trying to change the narrative. So we are in a post-truth world. We see it happening in the US, where what is clear, what is black and white, they tell you is gray, because they can just say it and then they can get AI to be able to support that. And if we want a world where AI can be reliable, we must go back to the data. The data must be reliable. If the data is not reliable, if it's not clean, if it's not reliable, it will spew out completely unreliable garbage.
This week, Bill Gates is in Africa, yeah? And he's marked a certain amount of billions of dollars that would go into countries. I saw Nigeria there, I saw 2 other countries, and of course to focus on our health sector and education. However, we are now getting ready to tap into that funding without also having the proper data. So what that is going to do is going to cause more troubles if we don't get our data set right. I hope that one day we will, because we've been having this conversation for a very long time. And I'll just reiterate, for AI to work, the data needs to be clean. This is not a chicken and egg dilemma. We must lay right foundations, or else everything we build will end up being compromised. That's if we're building anything, though.